Hello, welcome back. Jonathan McReynolds has always been known as the quiet soul of gospel music, someone whose songs are filled with sincerity, vulnerability, and an unmistakable sense of peace. For years, he managed to avoid the loud battles that often swirl in the church world, choosing instead to focus on his artistry and his walk with God. That's why so many were stunned when, for the first time, he openly responded to remarks from Donnie Swaggart, the fiery preacher and son of televangelist Jimmy Swaggart. The Swaggart family has lived in the spotlight for decades, marked by both influence and controversy, and Donnie himself has developed a reputation for bold, unapologetic sermons that often call out the modern church. But to see someone like Jonathan McReynolds, who rarely speaks against anyone, finally break his silence made people stop and pay attention. The tension began when Donnie delivered a sermon at Family Worship Center, criticizing what he called a watered-down gospel. He claimed that many artists today were more focused on fame and awards than on truly leading souls to Christ. Without directly saying names, he described songs that centered on struggle, weakness, and grace as being too soft, as if they catered to emotions rather than proclaiming the uncompromising truth of Scripture. To most, it sounded like a direct jab at Jonathan and others like him who represent a younger generation of gospel singers. Donnie's sermon quickly spread online, dividing opinions. Some applauded him for standing firm, while others accused him of being judgmental and out of touch. What no one expected was Jonathan's response. Instead of ignoring it, he posted a message that was calm yet powerful. He reminded people that the gospel was never about pretending to be perfect or strong, but about acknowledging weakness so that God's strength can be revealed. That one thought resonated deeply with his supporters, who saw it as both biblical and true to his entire ministry. He didn't call Donnie by name, didn't raise his voice, and didn't fight fire with fire. Instead, his measured words carried a weight that spread across social media like wildfire. Younger believers in particular rallied behind him, praising his grace and the way he represented them in a moment of tension. But Donnie wasn't about to step back. In a follow-up sermon, he doubled down, accusing modern gospel music of making excuses for what he called easy Christianity. He painted vulnerability and transparency as dangerous distractions, warning his followers that this new wave of music was leading the church into weakness. His words ignited yet another wave of debate, with his supporters saying he was defending truth and Jonathan's defenders insisting he was missing the very heart of the gospel, that Christ came for the broken. Soon, the clash grew larger than just the two men. Other pastors, gospel artists, and church leaders began weighing in. Some echoed Donnie's call for boldness and strength, while others sided with Jonathan's emphasis on honesty and grace. Social media became the battleground, with clips, quotes, and reactions trending on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Jonathan's calm words were remixed into videos, while Donnie's fiery sermon was shared by those who agreed with him. It became not just a disagreement, but a generational divide in how people see faith expressed in music and in church. At its core, this wasn't simply about one sermon or one response. It was about a deeper question: should Christianity always look like boldness and strength, or is it just as powerful when it admits weakness and leans on God's grace? Donnie embodied one side, firm, uncompromising, unwilling to bend. Jonathan embodied the other, authentic, vulnerable, willing to be open about human struggles. Both had strong followings, and their collision created one of the most talked about moments in recent gospel history. For many, Jonathan's choice to remain calm yet unshaken proved that sometimes the quietest response can echo the loudest, sparking a conversation that reached far beyond the pulpit.